John Bojack, 8 Knoxon Street, I'll keep it brief. One question, just one. It's the summer and I have a sound regulation question once again. I guess I should write that to you, I guess. It's just an email. 9:30, music not from the band, but from the house music at the club on Thursday. Code comes, music does go down, no tickets are issued, no warnings are issued, nothing happens. Is that the procedure?
No, it shouldn't be. That's amplified music, so that would qualify for noise violation.
Okay. Well, at the beginning say there's always a warning, right, a written warning?
Not formally, but there generally is in a cooperative environment to try to get a warning to say, look, you gotta lower the music down, you may not be aware if this is 9:02 or 9:15 or 9:30. 9:30 pretty egregious, that's half an hour beyond where it needs to go. After that, there should be a zero tolerance.
Okay, so, well, actually, this is the third incident. This is the first time of the 3 incidents I've had so far this summer with a particular club. We'll leave the name out for a second. But on
And
this
the code's
one,
been called 3 times?
no. I have to say that I've been trying to work my grievances out with the owner. However, when I have the same thing happening week after week, after a while, it stops being reasonable. So I call code. On the third instance, when I had outdoor music, no band, after 9:15, 9:30, 9:45, something like that, 10 o'clock at night. But I noticed that the code enforcement officer in this case came, asked them to lower the music, which they did, but that's not the point. I think at 9:30, the music is on and it's outdoor music and it requires some kind of formal notice, some formal attention. Because we work on a sequence of tickets, right, and experiences and contacts builds up the court. So that's what I find curious, why that officer didn't issue something.
Well, I mean, the public safety officers are there to encourage compliance. That's what they want. They want compliance.
Right.
So if they go there and they have automatic compliance and say your music is too loud, it should be off. Again, it's in that debate we've had for many years about what that timing of discretion is. I mean, if this was 11 o'clock, I think 9:30 is a little bit too far. But I mean, again, it's officer's discretion. It's 9:30 at a decibel or 2 higher. If it's blasting out the doors, even if it's 9:05 and it's at full 100% volume, that would be bad. Like, that would be a ticketable offense.
Yeah, but that's what's happened. The code doesn't call for the code officer to exert his discretion each time, because then you have no record. They get wiped out each time in that instance. Code officer A comes, says to the owner, lower your music. He does, okay? Code officer B another week later comes and says, lower your music. He does. But this just keeps going on and on. The code has, as far as I understand the code, in that instance where the officer goes, finds the music is in violation of the code, it's a violation.
Correct. Warning to warning.
Right, of which there's some record.
Yes.
Which then the next instance is built on, because that's when you get into court. I want these things to happen, you understand that? But since we have that code, that seems to be what the rule should be. Not a code officer comes and says, okay, he's quiet today, then I'll have the same situation next week, and the same situation all the way through the entire summer.
John, who's the culprit?
Well, I think we know.
Oh, I don't know.
Well, I'm right next to the LPT department.
Okay, that's who.
Right, and I have to say that, that Mr. Bremer, in general, his music is off at 9:05, 9:10. I live with all of that. It's these other instances that I don't want to live with. When the music is louder from his club at 9:30 on my TV, that's where I pick up the phone.
I don't blame you. But I think you should. I think that the officers know when there are repeat offenders, frequent flyers that are happening that are flouting the law like that, and there will be action taken if that turns out that they go there, say, on a Thursday night and it's past 9 o'clock, and he's got to go warn them. And on Sunday, they go again.
Well, there's only meet with Jim and Jim Berwick, and talking about how the reporting is done.
Yeah.
And whether there are, at the end of the night, I'll ask Sergeant back. If you go down and you make that, do you note that on a tour report or whatever?
if we give them a warning, yeah, we have a CC report, so we put everything on the CC
If you
report.
give a verbal warning, there is a CC, there is something.
Yeah, there's a CC.
Some document that's put in place. And that, is that document then made available to the other? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk to Jim about, in particular, with the noise ordinances, that at the end of the weekend, that those, the list is made for the next week, for the following, during the course of the following week. So the other officers understand.
Well, there's an envelope with written warnings that, you know, we have it in the office.
Okay,
We know
So we can go
who's
back
got
to paper
warnings.
trail and see.
Yeah, so we can start to put together the paper trail of Mr. Bourdain this week.
Yeah, but, because there's no written warning here, I read that report, I don't know if you did, I sent you the number of it, it just says, you know, music was lower. But that missed the point, it was at 9:30.
Well, okay, I think the question to Sergeant was, when you get it, you know, educate us too, when you get a closed out with compliance, there's an indication that there's a closed out with compliance, right? There's an
Correct.
indication that a visit was made to that place.
Correct.
And the
Right.
time.
So there's, the public safety will have the record that they had went there, it was closed out with compliance, but not necessarily that a written warning was issued to the place.
Okay, so but they somehow didn't catch that, right, because otherwise maybe sequence of code officers are not really,
But you missed exactly what I just said, because I will meet with the director and come up with a process to make sure that the officers during the course of the week, the guy that wasn't there on Monday night when it was, that has the information
if
to
that's where
know.
you go and I'm going with you.
Yeah,
Okay,
so that he understands, so that the officers have the information,
right,
in particular with noise ordinances, not barking dogs, not loud radios down on Cedar Avenue, not car parking the other way, but specific to noise ordinances, because those seem to be the ones that we have the greatest difficulty with.
Right.
We'll work out a process, I'll meet with Jim during the course of this week, we'll try to work out the system. Even if it means those are rented and every night everybody's given a sheet during the past 5 days, you know, or the past week. So we do exactly what you're talking about, is that it isn't a matter that they get slapped on the hand by Officer A, and on Tuesday's Officer B, and on Wednesday's Officer C. Because A, B, and C, you know,
might not be talking to one another.
exactly.
You know, I had experience in CPS, so I know the police have more sophisticated equipment than we do,
Yeah.
which is that in their car, they had a record of everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right, they knew who was there before, and it really helped them. So I think that if we
That's
do something
exactly
out
what-
here to
That's
do
what
that,
we're trying to
that's
do.
good.
Come up with a system. So there is the customer petition. Those guarantees that it will be 100%, but it will be better than a 2.0% now.
Right, okay,
Okay.
that sounds good to me, thanks.
Yes.
Okay.
Mr. Kevin?